Good morning, everybody. Let's get started with choosing what tomatoes that we are going to start growing this year. So I've got my seed containers here. These are my paste tomatoes and my slicing tomatoes. And then these are the cherry tomatoes. So let's go through the different varieties and choose which ones we're going to get started. I don't know about everybody else, but I would grow all the tomatoes I could. I probably have 70 different varieties here, but who has the space to grow 70 different tomatoes? I definitely don't, and I'm assuming you probably don't either. So let's take a peek and see which ones we're going to choose. Let's open up the cherry tomatoes to start and decide which ones we're going to grab. I like to organize my seeds in how old that they are in the container. So this one is from 2018. These ones are from 2025. I do my best to try to use up the older ones just so the seeds don't go to waste. So I love the Matt's Wild Cherry Tomato. It is a small tomato, but they are super delicious and yummy, so we'll definitely be growing those this year. The Sweetie Tomato, I think we're going to put that one off to the side this year. It's good, but we might not do that one. Sun Gold tomatoes, yellowish orange, very sweet tomato, so we will do those. Orange Hat, these are a dwarf tomato. I grow these in my green stalks. They are an orange tomato and they're delicious, very prolific, and easy to grow in a container. And those are just some more of them. Sweetheart Cherry, they're actually in the shape of a heart, which is pretty neat. They're delicious. Pink Bumblebee, these are a good sized cherry tomato. For Strabe, this is my ultimate favorite tomato. It is sweet, it's cherry sized, it's a little bit bigger than a smaller cherry, but still fit in your mouth in one bite. Candy Cherry, this one's going to be a new one for me this year, so we're just going to grow a couple of them to see if we like them. And we got this one for free through Baker Creek when we placed an order. This is a Woolly Kate yellow tomato, so I know nothing about it. They say they're 1 to 1.5 inches, yellow, pest and disease resistant, recommended for Hawaii and hot, humid areas. So it's usually hot, it's not terribly humid here, so we live in the Northeast. These might not be the best ones for us to try, but we'll try just a couple plants this year. And if they don't turn out great, we won't grow them again. But if they turn out great, we'll try it again. All right, so so that leaves us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different cherry tomatoes. That's a lot of cherry tomatoes, but we'll do it anyway. Maybe we'll just start a couple of each. Now let's open up our slicer and paste tomatoes and decide which ones of these we're growing this year. So, like I said, I have a lot of varieties, so it is hard to choose, but we'll have to do it. Rebecca Allen, I saved these seeds last year because Baker Creek wasn't selling them anymore. So I saved my own seeds so that way we can grow them. They are delicious, they're big, they're meaty, pretty pest resistant where I live. Hungarian Heart, very big juicy tomato, we're growing that. Amish Paste, I didn't have great luck with them a couple years ago. They are a paste tomato. They didn't produce well enough for me to make space in my garden for them. Maybe we'll try them again, but not this year. Abe Lincoln are the biggest, best red tomatoes ever. I've grown them, they're a pound, pound and a half, so definitely on the lineup. German Pink, they are similar to the Abe Lincoln, but these ones have a pink hue to them versus a red hue, so we're growing those. These I grew for the first time last year. These were almost a pound and a half every single time. Not very seedy, good for slicing. Dad Sunset, this is my husband's absolutely favorite tomato. It is so sweet. If you just sprinkle it with a little bit of salt, it's like dessert. Muscovy, these produced so many tomatoes last year. Even when the other ones were getting some blight and such, these ones seemed to hold out, and these ones seem to have been, even when the other ones were getting disease, these ones seemed to hold up well last year, and I was, picking 10, 15 a day. They were very good. Classic beefsteak. I do a plant sale every year, and people are always looking for beefsteak tomatoes. I don't love them. I don't plant them, but other people do, so we'll be starting some of those. These ones did really great for me last year. They're a little bit smaller than a slicing tomato, but bigger than a cherry tomato, so somewhere right in the middle. Cherokee purple. I grow a couple plants of these every year, but they seem to get disease quickly. But again, with the plant sale that I do, people are looking for them, so we'll grow those. Brandywine. I don't grow these, but they're for the plant sale. Kellogg's Breakfast. These are going to be new ones for me this year. This one is new for me this year. This one was named after M.C. Biles of West Virginia, and he grew these, and it is rumored to say he grew so many and they were so big that he was able to pay off his mortgage by selling tomatoes. So that's how they got their name. So we chose how many slicing tomatoes? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 slicing tomatoes. Oh boy. We will have to be finding some space, making some room to find places to plant them. What I do is I will fill this, it's a 3-inch pot, and I will take each variety and plant a bunch of seeds in one. Once they sprout, I will then individually up-pot them. But it works well just so you're not having a lot of wasted space on your growing shelves in case, if you plant 30 of them and only 20 of them come up, then you have a whole lot of wasted soil and wasted space on your shelves. So that's the way I do it. Let's go ahead and get these containers filled up, and then we'll pop some seeds in some soil and give them a water. So I'm going to take my 10 by 20 tray, grab these trays off here, grab some gloves, and we'll get them filled up with soil. So it is the middle to end of March here. Actually, yesterday was the first day of spring. So it is time for us to get our tomatoes started. Let me know where you guys are from and whether it's time for you to be starting your tomatoes or not. Our usual last frost is usually Memorial Day weekend. So this is when I historically start my tomatoes, and it works out pretty well for us. If you have any favorite tomato varieties, leave it in the comments. I always like to get new recommendations from people. If I have 70 varieties, it's definitely never enough. I could always plant more, right? So I like to keep a bin of soil in my grow room, and just works really well. And I take the soil and I just break it up a little bit with my hand. It's been sitting in a bag in the basement all winter, so it can be a little clumpy. Sometimes it has a little bit of bark and such in it. When I first started growing seeds, I would do individual pots for each seed. I ended up using a whole lot of space and lots of soil, and when one or two or several didn't germinate, it was just a waste. So I saw somebody else using this method, so I have taken it up, and it seems to work pretty awesome. All right, those pots are filled. I'm just going to go through and pull out any bark or rocks or things that are in the soil. Seeds don't like to germinate in those things, so Let's move all those to the side that we're going to be done with. Here's our tray that we're going to start our seeds in. So here I've got a kind of a biggish piece of bark. I'm just going to get that on out of there. So I'm just going to make sure the top part of the soil here is very loose. There's not big chunks because seeds have a difficult time germinating in them. But most of the soil looks pretty good. I will show you how I do one of them, and then I'll get the rest of them done. So mortgage lifter is new to us. Here's some tomato seeds. For the mortgage lifter, we're just going to start 5 or 6 plants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes the seeds stick together too, so if you just pinch them in your fingers, they'll separate. All right, there's the 6 seeds for those. So we're going to pop them right in here. One of the most important things is labeling them as you plant them. You have great intention that I'll remember which one that one is. And then you get 3 in deep, and then you have mystery plants once they sprout. So these are BC, so Baker Creek. Mortgage lifter. I also like to write when I'm starting them and how many I put in the pot. So that gives me a clear, hey, these seeds are germinating well, or they didn't germinate well. If they don't germinate well, next time I would know that I would just plant like twice as many as I want. But there's the first one, and I'm going to get all the other ones done here. And tomato seeds are tiny, so you do not have to bury them very deep. So I'm just going to take the end of my marker, push them in the soil, push them in the soil just a little bit, and then take the soil around and give them a cover up. The tricks to good germination is you want to keep the top of the soil very moist as they are working on germinating. Seeds, if they start germinating and then they dry out, they're going to lose their energy and their oomph to continue to fully make it through the soil and put off those first couple leaves. Once these sprout, and then I put them in their own individual containers, I will bottom water them because that encourages the roots to grow down. If you continue to top water, the roots are just going to stay where the water mostly is. So at this point, when we're just working on germination, water the top. When you up pot into individual containers, you're going to want to water from the bottom. So I will get the rest of these done and meet you back at the end. Ones we planted. So these are the ones we started. I have Muscovy, I have Rebecca Allen, I saved some seeds last year because I can't get them anymore, so I separated them just to see how well they germinate. And then I did still have some Rebecca Allen, so we planted those. We got beefsteak, pineapple, German pink, but I also seed saved some, so we're gonna see how those turn out. German lunchbox, Cherokee purple, Brandywine, mortgage lifter, Kellogg's breakfast, and Dad's sunset. So those are all the slicing tomatoes. And then these are all the cherry tomatoes. So we have Sweetheart Cherry. This is the candy cherry that's going to be new this year. I saved some seeds. They're called grilled tomatoes because they sprouted up next to the grill. They were delicious. I have no idea what they are, but we're going to see if they grow. Matt's Wild Cherry. I saved some of those seeds, so we're trying those. Orange Hat, Restrabe, my favorite cherry tomato. This one is new to us this year. Woolly Kate Yellow, Sun Gold, and then pink Bumblebee cherry tomatoes. That's my runner-up after the Restrabe. So there we go. Those are all 2026's tomatoes started. I'm just going to mist the top of them and get them on the grow shelf. Thanks for watching.